Welcome to What's Up in Jeju, where I visit places around the island and talk about what's happening with hashtag Daily K's host, Peter Bint.
Yeah. So, where are we going today? Hashtag travel, hashtag 여행.
So, we are talking about, and you mentioned it earlier, the keyword kitchen. We are talking about Haenyeo's kitchen, also known as Haenyeo Buok, a, quote, docent-led course meal that shares the life of a Haenyeo.
Ooh, that sounds cool, doesn't it? So, many people who are learning Korean might know different words for kitchen, like 주방.
Yeah.
But puok is kind of what my mum's generation uses for the kitchen, especially in the old, like, Hanok style, I believe. So we're going to the female diver's kitchen today.
That's right. And the thing is, of course, for our listeners who are unaware, the Haenyeo are the famous female women divers who are, originally from Jeju. But this experience, it's not just your run-of-the-mill restaurant. It's a fine dining experience. It has a blend of a play or a theatrical play, some media art, of course, food, but then there's the Q&A with the Haenyeo. And so all the ingredients, you could probably guess, are local fresh-caught seafood, like as in, mollusk and conch and fish, but also seaweed and local vegetables as well. And then you get these professionally trained chefs who add their really creative twists. It's proper fine dining. And then you add this experience with these young actors and the Haenyeo who, quote unquote, run the restaurant. So they'll have the play, the show. But then when the lights kind of go on, those actors and the Haenyeo will start serving you food. And the first experience, like, can I ask you for food? They're like, yeah, of course, So that's kind of fun.
Wow.
And so they tell the story.
That does sound really immersive.
Really immersive, really immersive. And they tell the story of Haenyeo and they describe a day in a Haenyeo's life, aided by these media art. Peter, if you remember the folklore play that you saw up in Seoul and then I cover here in Jeju. Remember, it has the blank walls and then it has the projections of these essentially high definition media video screens with, CGI and everything.
Yeah.
It's a similar experience in some of the locations here.
Wow. And so you meet real Haenyeo while you're dining.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the key highlight of the experience. We talked about the Q&A session. And the thing is, what's really great is that the Haenyeo profession, it's in decline, right? There's just less people applying, as well as the Haenyeo themselves. They're aging out. So this is a great opportunity for these Haenyeo to still interact, be part of the village. And, some of the Haenyeo, they just love it because they're the star of the show. Just these old gals in their 60s, 70s, even pushing 90. They secretly love the attention. It's just so sweet. And so you get the chance to encounter these Haenyeo in the dining experience in different settings with two different storytelling approaches at two separate locations.
Oh, there's a couple on Jeju Island.
Right. So back in January 2019, the original Haenyeo's kitchen kicked off in Jeongdari. However, I went to Bukchon-ri, or Bukchon Village, and that is more of an intimate dining experience. It's maybe a dozen people or less. It's a much smaller crowd, and it's a really course meal style fine dining experience.
Wow. That's amazing. We've got a video to share as well.
Right. That would be with Ava Lee, the Chief Operating Officer of Haenyeo's Kitchen. In this video, she delves into some of the biggest challenges to running such an operation. But before we show the video, I'd also like to share that filming is not allowed in the experience, but we were allotted some limited video shots to not show any too many key points. You can take photos inside, but just no flash.
Okie dokie. Here we go.
Hello everybody, I'm Ava Lee, the Chief Operating Officer of Haenyeo Kitchen. Thanks for inviting me today and welcome to Haenyeo Kitchen.
Operating Haenyeo Kitchen, it must have its challenges. But can you share the most demanding aspect you have encountered?
Actually, these days, as our business grows bigger and bigger, so does our responsibility. So basically, we are a social venture that carries on the spirit of Haenyeo. So it means now we even get asked like what you can do as the number of haenyeo is decreasing, or how you can join in saving the ocean like that.
Yeah.
So even though most of us are artists, we know that one of the most important things we have to do is try little by little to coexist with nature. So, for example, the hairbands our crews wear here are used of the waste net from the ocean, and our uniform is recycled from
Chairs.
The
chairs too, they're made from the old wetsuits.
Yeah, like that. So so as Haenyeo Kitchen is growing, it's time to suggest the direction to actually solve the problem based by haenyeo. Right, that. So which sometimes makes us feel burdened a little bit, but I believe that we can make a sustainable model to continuously spread the value of Haenyeo culture, which will be challenging but worthwhile.
Ava Lee, she seems so kind of passionate, at the same time a little bit burdened by the responsibility that comes with this, because it's not just any old restaurant. You're kind of trying to preserve Haenyeo culture and the environment. It's a lot on her plate, pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, that's so nice that you mentioned that, because just some of the questions that they're asked, they're just, again, they're like, so what are you going to do about, first, they just wanted to, everybody to have a really good time and talk with haenyeo and just enjoy an experience. But then they're just like, wait, there's a responsibility, like a social responsibility to this. And the customers, they're the ones who are bringing it up. It's like, well, what can you do about the situation with haenyeo, or what's going on, what's going to happen. So I think those in charge, who we'll talk about later, including Ava, they had to sit back and they had to reassess, what's the message here, what are we doing here. And so I think that's pretty smart on their part, and really insightful on their part to really think about that and address it.
Yeah, so she mentioned, a lot of them are artists, so there's a mixture of true, authentic haenyeo and actors, right?
Yeah, there's a mix of actors and the haenyeo, they love acting as well. But, the OG actor of Haenyeo's Kitchen is the founder and CEO of Haenyeo's Kitchen. That would be Kim Ha-won, and she is an actress herself. Now, CEO Kim, her story is quite unique as well. Her family is originally from Jeongdari, so she's a Jeju saram too, and with many women in her family working as haenyeo. Now, Kim, she just wanted to see the world, so she went on to major in acting at Korea National University of Arts in Seoul. But the thing is, whenever she returned home, she saw the seafood and the seaweed and all the goods, the catch by the haenyeo. They were metaphorically, but also literally being undervalued, right? And so she came up the plan of Haenyeo's Kitchen. She's like, I think this is worth way more in experience. Again, figuratively, but also literally, this is worth way more. And yeah, when she's got to fill in, she'll put on the outfit and she'll do it, man.
So we've got another interview coming up.
Yeah, so speaking of actors, we should just jump into the next video. And this interviewee is someone who attended the show. But in fact, you've interviewed this person before. So I don't know. It might be a kind of a fun surprise.
All right. So usually we interview somebody and have them introduce themselves for those who don't know. But I don't think I'm going to do you justice. So could you please introduce yourself to our audience here?
Hello, hi, this is Anupam Tripathi. You must have watched me somewhere in the games.
A little known.
Yeah, a little known.
A little known show.
Yeah.
Now, about the food, do you have any expectations or any idea of the kind of food we're going to have tonight?
I'm sure because it's going to be a feeling of home food. So I'm really excited to have some good home food, because the touch of all this, like the cook, chef in Haenyeo Kitchen, I'm very much excited and looking forward for it. And my taste will get better. And when my taste gets better, my 한국어 잘 나와요.
Awesome. Well, I hope you have a really good experience, and we'll go enjoy a meal, huh?
Yeah, thank you so much, and really nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Let's have a great time.
Let's do it. All right, brother.
Hi.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to belt is about to burst, where are
Yeah.
you right now?
Me, I'm like satisfied, happy,
Yeah.
joyful.
Yeah. I'm just curious, do you have any highlights? from
The thing is like there were things about Haenyeo's kitchen, but all those Haenyeo, Samchun, the ladies who go under the sea and come back. The best thing I love, like 욕심 부리지 말고 숨 있을 때 나와라. That was the lesson.
Yeah.
It's all about like eat that much which is needed for you.
Yep.
Not everything.
Yeah.
Though through coming like the actress,
Yeah.
the story, it's so important. Like I was thinking, what is the connection between Haenyeo and the sea? So I just felt like it's a connection, Yeongyol.
Yeah.
So from Pada to Haenyeo to community, from there Haenyeo's kitchen, and
Yeah.
then us. So it's just like 관계, connection, from sea to the earth to sky to but like all the elements.
Well, that was fantastic. Thanks again for
man.
taking the time to talk with us, and we will send it back to you, Peter, in the studio.
And you should do modeling.
What a lovely chap. Anupam Tripathi from Squid Game fame. What, was he just randomly there?
That's a really good question. This was not planned. This was not planned with even the show today with the award winner from the most recent reality version of it. So he happened to be
Yes.
there because he is close friends with the CEO. Remember, she's an actor, right?
wow.
So they were
Yeah.
classmates, right? So they were classmates at the university up in Seoul. And they just had a quick, very strong connection with each other because she's from Jeju. She's from Jeju, and then he's also not originally from the mainland of course. So they just struck up a fast friendship, and so he just came down at her request. She was just, hey, just come on down and enjoy the experience. He just came down alone, just by himself, and I was like, hey, would it be cool if you talked about your experience? I know you're like really famous, but I wasn't. Hopefully I was like way cooler than that. But yeah, he was awesome. He's
seemed
so
cooler.
so friendly, so warm, and he you could tell he really enjoyed himself.
Yeah, some of that Korean that he was talking about that really touched him was, the Haenyeo, and he kept on saying Haenyeo, but that's an easy mistake to make as a foreigner here. The Haenyeo saying about, don't be greedy, just take as much as you need, just eat as much as you need, kind of like a double, triple meaning there with the food in the restaurant, but also nature when you're harvesting it. That's why Haenyeo is so sustainable and perfect for this time we're facing with environmental crises and stuff. There's just one lady going down there. You can't overfish, I'm sure.
I mean, if you remember when I did the diving experience as well, back when I first started What's Up in Jeju, when you dive down there and you see like 2 or 3 conch, right? You get like overly excited and you really try to grab them at one go. And that I kind say that I'm anywhere close to a Haenyeo, but essentially that's what happens with a lot of Haenyeo is like they're maybe they find just a huge batch and like, okay, another one. They lose track of their own breath. In some cases, they'll find, the natural abalone, which is so rare to catch. And Jeju abalone are like this big. This is like a goose egg, golden goose egg if you find it. So, you just want to bring in that prize, right? So you can really lose track of just your own oxygen when you're down there.
Yeah, and doing that could be fatal, right? And that with the planet as well, like ruining the ecosystem. What a lovely message. So we are going to now walk through the whole experience, right?
Right. So the question we have to ask, and you think we've already answered, is what exactly is Haenyeo's kitchen? But if we think about what is a Haenyeo's kitchen, it's the ocean, right? That is the source of all of their culinary ingredients. And the thing is, Haenyeo in life, they had to balance multiple roles. Professional divers, of course, caregivers, even farmers and household managers. So consequently, their cuisine had to be pretty simple, relying on easily obtainable ingredients from their surroundings, whatever they could get. And the menu at Haenyeo's Kitchen draws inspiration from this lifestyle, prioritizing the use of the fresh and local ingredients. So why don't we dive in? Unfortunately, Peter, this is not like last week where we could start just eating, but we can at least eat with our eyes and look at the food on screen in the next images.
You basically ate the leftovers you were meant to send us, didn't you,
Yeah,
Mark? So
sorry.
what are we seeing in this first picture?
All right, so this first image is shindari and sangwaetok. So shindari is a local yogurt-like drink, and the kids, they actually grew up drinking it. It's quite, you could say, tart. I wouldn't say bitter, but a bit more on the tart side. It's homemade, and each household has their own specific recipes. And then sangwaetok.
It's not alcoholic.
It's not alcoholic. It's fermented, but it's not alcoholic.
Okay.
And then sangwaetok is actually bread, not tok, but it has the consistency of tok. Like it's quite chewy and quite stretchy. And it was dedicated to ancestors or sea gods at a ritual. And like I said, it's very chewy and it's a great appetizer. Also, if you go to the experience that I went to, you don't realize it, but the sangwaetok is right there in front of you the whole time in the pot. It's not until the actress lifts the pot and you're like, whoa, it's here the whole time. And, it's fun.
Oh,
and there's
wow.
And there's an added citrus sauce with Jeju, gyul or mandarin, and that's unique and it blends, gives it a little sweetness.
Wow. So these are really Jeju specific things, right? We learned about the shindari quite a while back. I'm really curious as to what it tastes like. This next dish that we're seeing really does look like Michelin star fine dining. What on earth is that?
So that is buckwheat roulade or bingduk. In Jeju, rice is actually quite scarce, so it leads the locals to rely primarily on buckwheat as their main crop instead of rice, right? So the inventive take on this staple is the Jeju version of a buckwheat crepe known as bingduk in the local language. And this unique dish involves rolling seasoned radish slices and chopped ingredients into a crepe, and then from a thinly fried buckwheat dough. So it's quite light and delicious. It's all good stuff. It's all yummy.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, because, sometimes fine dining can be a bit too advanced for my taste palette. Do you think, like, a fussy eater or just an average palate would like this as well?
Yeah, so, JY, she was there as well. And so she has a very fine, complicated palate, and she's she knows what's good and what's not good. She enjoys it. I'm a pretty simple guy, you know what I mean? If it's good, it's good. And so we both were happy. Yeah.
Nice. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is up my alley.
Here
now
we go.
We're talking the main course.
So
that looks like meat.
Yeah, it is meat, and the picture doesn't really do it justice. We're talking a big old cut of Jeju black pork. Black pork, that is a staple. It's a must if you go to Jeju. And it's prepared by sous vide. So, some customers, they may be like, is this cooked all the way? It's a bit red or it looks undercooked. No, it's completely, it's been cooking for 5 hours or something like that. And so low temperature, awesome, delicious. You can see fresh vegetables as well, and preserving the essence of the Haenyeo and the buldak. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And there was an anchovy sauce on that, was it?
Right, that's the meljot sauce, and it's a traditional Jeju-style anchovy sauce. It's quite unique. It's not what you'd expect. It's got a more of a gravy-like appearance, but the taste is not what you'd expect. So, try it out, I would say. Yeah, it's quite delicious.
Yeah, when you go to the black pork restaurants, even in Seoul, that have the Jeju pork, you'll get that myeoljot, which is not common with other pork restaurants. And it is a bit funky, but it definitely has some 매력, as we'd say, some attractiveness to it.
That's right.
Mark, thank you as ever. You're not going to be here next week, Mark.
Yes, actually, I will be gone for personal reasons for the next 3 weeks. I'm not traveling, though. I'm not traveling as much as I'd like to. So JY, she's going to be back. She's going to be here for the next 3 weeks. So you'll be blessed by, JY's presence.
Well, of course we'll miss you, but that does sound like jolly good fun. We hope to see you back then in about 4 weeks' time, Mark. Come back safe and sound.
Absolutely, brother. I can't wait to be back here. What's Up in Jeju is supported by the JDC, which is creating a free international city that resembles nature, embraces the future, and reaches the world. I'm Mark Wilson Che, with writer Che Jung-yun. This is Arirang Radio.